I hate this community so damn much, bro. You have no idea. Everyone's saying this community is so nice, so friendly, and they're liars. I know it. You know it. Everybody knows it. Let's start from the beginning. So I've been busting my ass on videos, shorts, editing. My car literally broke down, so I had to get it towed. And frankly, it hasn't been a great time to be Silhouette. But beyond all that, I wanted to hop on the old hardcore account and make some progress towards my legendary weapon. Now, me and my journey, this is like an ultra long-term goal. So this process isn't going to be done in like a month or 2 months or whatever. But I've been repeating the leveling process a lot because, well, I keep dying. And this time around, I was a little smarter with my decisions. My first character, I was like, oh, I'm never gonna die. And I got rank 400 crafting. I made full gear, and I was like slowly map comping as I went. And while obviously that wasn't the greatest strategy, because of course, like, I died and I wasted a ton of gold and time and all that. So this time around, my level 80 was basically just geared with whatever random stuff the game gave me. And that leads me to the actual topic of this video, the new player experience in Guild Wars 2. And if you're here for my death story, I'll get to that. I promise I will run you through a play-by-play, but I want to take a minute to talk about the new player experience because I think that the game does a pretty poor job at setting up new players for success. And in some cases, the free-to-play experience is equally cooked. But much like working on my car, the last time I touched the new player system was like a long time ago, so I didn't expect anything to be re-engineered anytime soon. So I'm going to keep my suggestions as like pretty low intensive. I'm not like, oh, do this and rework the UI and rework this, but I'd love to see some actual work get put in. For the most part, we aren't gonna see any of that. The product is shipped. It is what it is. But hopefully some of these changes will come in so people decide to stick with the free game until they actually decide to purchase the expansions, or at least go over to YouTube and find my videos to where I will help them get proper gear. In either case, let's start with the Guild Wars 2 new player experience situation. What a mouthful. We just had our new hero jumpstart, and I managed to basically level 3 level 80s in that time. The average leveling time is about 15 hours with no boosters or cheese or anything or special events going on. It was a lot faster during the new hero jumpstart. But just if you follow the character adventure guide closely and make good use of your time, that part is 100% fine. I don't think that having characters level up quickly is a bad thing. In fact, I think it could probably go faster, at least right at the start, because you are stuck with running around with only weapon skills for quite a while. And if you don't know how to cheese the character adventure guide, which why would a new player know how to do that? It's gonna be slow. Now, the real issue that I have is the pop-ups, the little level up pop-ups that you get the reward. The level up rewards are actually quite useful until they aren't, and they're completely trash. At first they're useful. You do typically get given like a meta-ish weapon like the greatsword on Guardian or pistols on Thief or something like that, so you aren't completely stuck with whatever weapon you start with right away or whatever weapons you find. You actually get a decent weapon right away. However, as you level up and you get close to max level, you just end up getting random trash items. Sometimes these are rares with a rune, sometimes they're rares with a superior rune, sometimes they're exotics with no runes, or a set of exotics with like mismatch rune. And frankly, the runes and gear stats are problematic because you aren't really teaching players how to play properly. Typically speaking, you have gear of the same stat in every slot. Berserker's gear, for instance. However, after leveling, you end up with a mismatch of stat types. Sometimes it's Condi, sometimes it's Berserker, sometimes it's soldiers, whatever. And the runes in those gear pieces also don't match at all. So when you hit level 80, the entire game opens up. Fractals are recommended, the Wizard's Vault is recommended, and many players will navigate to a level 80 zone. And even in core level 80 zones, they can be pretty dangerous if your gear is all jacked up. But the problem is that you're training new players to think that that's how you gear a character, with mismatched rarities, hodgepodge of different equipment stat types, and rune stats that don't match. And then they just end up wanting to do dungeons or wanting to do fractals or whatever, and it's a mess. They can't survive, they can't do damage, they can't do anything. and it's 100% not their fault. It's so bad that you can actually just like trash all of your leveling gear and then just get white berserker gear from the PvP lobby, and it'll perform better out in the open world than the exotic or rare gear that you get from these level up rewards. So my suggestion is that the rewards for these levels get more streamlined in a way that makes sense. Like the pick your item rewards are often just confusing, and I think that maybe from like level 70 up you can just give the player a single piece of gear that is the same stat, same rune set. So by the time they hit level 80, even if they're rocking like level 70 exotics, they at least have the stats match and the runes match. This next little part is going to be me talking about the free to play experience. That is what I play when I'm doing my hardcore stuff, because the game went free to play like a decade ago and it came with like a ton of restrictions. And one of the big ones is like no item to item mailing and a strict trading post regulation. And these are often used to counter both bots and like RMT, which is fine because some of those things absolutely destroy the game, but these two things are kind of destroying the free-to-play experience in Guild Wars 2. So let's talk about player-to-player mail. I think that that restriction could be lifted or at least loosened, so that way free-to-play could at least trade with other free-to-play characters, but they couldn't mail to retail accounts. That would be like a good delineation. Most players who RMT aren't going to be RMTing to a free-to-play account, and the whole point is to segregate the free-to-play and potential bots from the retail market. The game already tracks who does that. It already has these restrictions in place on certain accounts, so I'm sure that that change alone could be made if they wanted it to. That one might be a little bit more invasive, but it could be done. Secondly, the trading post restriction. Some items are restricted and are unbuyable, and I believe that they should not be in current Guild Wars. Things like charms are unbuyable, and unfortunately these charms are required to craft runes. Like you cannot get these charms. You can get them. You can get these charms from salvaging equipment, but you can't buy them outright from the trading post, and you also can't buy runes outright either, which makes getting runes insanely hard for a free-to-play account. This also goes for relics, and I think that one of the level up rewards, at least the level 80 level up reward, would be that 3-pack of relic selection chests that we got when Soda was released, because otherwise you really aren't going to get them. You aren't going to be getting a relic on a free-to-play account without a significant amount of work. And part of me feels like these restrictions are there to incentivize the purchase of the game. Like I feel like they inconvenience the player so significantly that they want you to just be like, whatever, I'll just buy it. Here you go, here's your $15, and they'll buy the game. But I feel like the overall pacing doesn't allow for people to get hooked first, and I think that loosening up some of these free-to-play restrictions, or at least modernizing them a little bit, will allow for a player to actually try the game, play for free, and then actually get to the point where they're like, I'm actually really enjoying this and I want to play the game more. And then they'll purchase the game. Like if they play until they're like level 25 and they have all these restrictions and they don't know how to get gear and everything's locked out, they're just gonna stop playing the game. You know what I mean? They're not gonna just be like, oh, okay, I'll just buy it, whatever. I think proper level up rewards and loosening the restrictions on the free to play account in general would be a good way of incentivizing more people to actually stick with the game long enough to be like, okay, yeah, I want to buy the expansions now. All right, now for the moment you've all been waiting for, my death journey, the death that nearly broke me. So I logged in and I wanted to make some progress on the account, and I saw that Triple Trouble was running, and you can get ascended gear from Triple Trouble. So I was like, all right, let's go. You know, everything was going smoothly. I stayed out of trouble. I went to the one with the pheromones, and it was like, all right, easy peasy. I killed the worm, and I was feeling hype, man, because I might get some ascended gear. I got the old achievement pop up. It was my first clear of Triple Trouble on this account. So I was like, all right, everything's going good. Everything's going good. And then I was like, oh yeah, they have this portal to the boss chest. So I ran over and I clicked on it. And that's when it happened. That's when I knew that I was fucked. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that the Guild Wars 2 community would do this to me. And not only that, it was done covertly because the portal to the boss chest is a white portal. I thought it was safe. And there's only one other item in the game that makes white portals, and it's the white mantle portal device. So I know that some toxic elitist raider out there got me, dude. They literally set all the raiders back 1,000 years on this. But you know what they say? You live by the sword, you die by the sword. So I had to delete my level 80 again, and I had to level up a new character again, so that way hopefully I can make some progress towards this legendary challenge. I did consider saying like, this is just gonna be my world versus world character now, but since I died in PvE, I did feel like it was against the spirit of the journey, so we're just gonna ride it out at this rate. I'm pretty sure that Guild Wars 3 is gonna be released before I finish my little classic hardcore challenge run, but yeah, there we are. With that, I want to thank you guys for watching. A big thanks to all my subscribers and a special thanks to all of my members. I've been trying to find a balance between doing shorts, doing guides, and more of these talking community rant videos. I did enjoy reading all of your comments on rant number 67. So if you have any thoughts on the new player experience or me getting cooked by one of my own people, please throw an F in the comments for your boy. Thanks again for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.